Welcome to Allie's Attic, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is singer, songwriter, and producer, Kna Lo Venge. Hi, Kna Lo Venge.
Hello, Allie. Hello, Allie's Attic. Nice to be here in Canada. How are you?
We're doing well. Now you're originally from Queens, New York, but now you're living in Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
So the weather must be... Oh, no, you were saying it was raining there?
Yeah, it's raining now. Actually, they're saying that this is a record rainfall for this year, that it's rained more than it has, I guess, in the past 20 years. It's been raining a lot. Actually, it's not bad because we had a drought, so the water is welcome. Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's better than the snow we have. Now,
well, it's better than snow and cold that I grew up with in New York, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm still thinking probably New York has nothing on us. When we get to minus 40, it's not fun. But anyway, wow. I will get out to LA one day. I am determined. Now, talk about your music, because your music the songs that I've listened to are amazing.
Thank you. I don't know where to start. If people ask me, usually I get asked what genre, and I guess I'm my own genre. I can't really put myself. I don't fit in a box. I don't really fit in a particular genre. I rap on a lot of songs, so a lot of people have put me in a hip hop genre, but I don't really do hip hop. I mean, some of the songs that I have they have hip hop elements, and I guess can be loosely considered hip hop, but mainly I don't know. It's funny, we were just talking about Prince, and he is definitely an influence of mine, and you know, he kind of was in his own genre, and I guess I am too. I'm my own genre. I don't really fit, into any
specific genre
category. I mean, I've been compared to Pitbull. I've been compared to Flo Rida, because I was doing, a lot of dance oriented stuff, and but my roots are hip hop, but I have such a broad spectrum of musical tastes and artists that I like that I've been influenced and infused with so many different styles that, I don't really focus on what style I'm doing when I'm producing or writing. I just do whatever I'm feeling, and then however it comes out, that's the way it comes out. I'll let other people put it in a category. I'll just keep doing the music.
I'm not putting you in a category because, like I told you, I can't. You do. It's a broad spectrum that you cover. Now, this just astounds me. You've met, toured, and worked with some of the greats. You've already mentioned Prince, Michael Jackson, Jermaine Jackson, Janet Jackson, I can't talk, AZ, Mop, Royal Flush, Jill Jones, Jerome Benton, AZ, Brent Carter, Little Scrappy, DJ Clark Kent, Wu-Tang Clan, Sons of Man, Baby Paul, SPK, DR Period, DJ Absolute, Shampoo, Big Pun, Daddy Yankee, and that's just to name a few.
Yeah.
So I can see where you get all your influences from.
I'm sorry?
I can see where you can get all your influences from. That's...
Oh, yeah. I've been blessed in my life to have, been around and meet a lot of my idols and a lot of people that I just admire for one reason or another. Definitely the music, but it could be their approach, to their craft, their seriousness. I'm a person that believes that, if you're going to do something, you do it to the best of your ability, and you give it all you have, and you learn as much about it as you can. History, theory, practical applications. And, once you have those things down, then you you get inspired and you look for inspiration and you let it kind of flow through you. And so in doing that, it's taken me all around the world. It's taken me the places I never could have imagined that I would be, and working with some of the people that, I mean, it sounds crazy, but there's been stars that I've met that I looked up to that tell me that I inspire them. And I'm looking at them crazy, I'm just like, what? Like, but it also let me know that when you think nobody's watching, somebody's watching. Somebody's always paying attention.
Yeah, always.
And especially when you're consistent. People look for consistency sometimes more than the gifts or the talent. People just look to see how serious you are. Mm-hmm. And I think that consistency is what drove me. Well, not drove me, but what drew people to me was, you're still doing it. You do it all the time. This is all you do. Like, this is beautiful. And, you're somebody that I feel confident in working with, or like I've even had fans or I hate the word fans, but people that like my music, tell me that they feel safe in buying my music because it's not like I'm going to be a one-off.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we buy his music and then, there was a waste of money because he's nowhere to be found anymore, So, yeah, I hope I answered your question.
You did, and then some. Now,
okay.
I know you don't like calling them fans, but somebody who loves your music is how I found you. They actually direct messaged me on Twitter and begged me to go after you and get you on my show. And I think that's pretty amazing. That says a lot about you right there. Because that's how I found you.
Whoa, I'm glad you did, and thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad I did too.
And thank whoever that was. One of the things that I try to do is be accessible. I understand when you get to a certain level of success, it's hard because people come at you from all kind of angles, and it's, I've even experienced where I've had to kind of block people or, just kind of avoid people or whatever on a very, minuscule level. But I understand, how it can be to have people coming at you from all, because people, I don't know what it is about celebrity. I was talking to Cher and,
sorry, I just fainted. Okay, go on.
And, and so we started going back and forth on Twitter, and we were inboxing privately, and then we're talking publicly, and it just was, she's a national treasure. She's a worldwide icon, and the things that some people were just fans and were very happy just to see, her active and, talking and being, around. And then there were people that were just coming at her very disrespectfully, very inappropriately. And it really bothered me. And, I just don't understand, you don't know this person just because they're a public figure. You don't know them. And if you have a chance to be in touch or be in contact, I think that you should be as gracious or as respectful as possible. And unfortunately, people think that because you put yourself out there, which is a hard thing to do in itself, mm-hmm. that it's okay to say anything to you, to call you any kind of names, or to be disrespectful or to demand things of you. That's been kind of weird to experience, when you have strangers that demand you do X, Y, and Z, and you're just like, what? What do you, it's kind of off-putting. But I try to be as accessible as I can. I don't believe in, acting any other way than myself. I mean, of course, you have to be a little bit guarded and you have to protect yourself, but people that are respectful and that are genuine, I talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to them. We inbox, we text, we talk on Facebook or whatever, and I don't have a problem with that. And I don't think that in any way diminishes my standing, which, unfortunately you'll get that from publicists or managers or marketing companies. They want you to kind of not speak to your fans or not speak to anyone directly and kind of keep this invisible wall up between you and the public. And I just think that it's unnecessary if it's not for your safety, mentally and physically, emotionally, because you do get your feelings hurt. And I think that's what people forget is that, we're all humans and we're kind of exposed like a raw nerve when you're a celebrity or a personality. You're putting yourself out there and, you're going to have critics. Everybody's not going to like what you do. Some people won't like anything that you do. It's just part of what you do when you're in the public. But again, like I said, I think that I think people just don't understand that people are still human beings, and to say some of the horrible, hurtful things that I've seen said to other artists and to myself is just kind of really, really crazy to me. Politicians, I understand a little bit more because
especially right now,
they may directly, they can directly affect your life, but an artist is just, whether it's an actor or a sculptor or a singer or whatever, is just, performing their art. They aren't, you don't have to listen to them. If you don't like them, you don't have to watch their movies or whatever. Mm-hmm. But to attack them, I think is very strange. It's just very strange that people feel like that it's okay to do that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. At the end of the day, we're all human. We put our socks on the same way, regardless of whether we sing, we act, or, we sit at home and do nothing. And I've seen on Twitter where people have actually attacked people. And what always confuses me is if you don't like them and if you don't like what they're doing, why are you following them? Why are you even commenting?
Exactly.
Well,
exactly. I mean, you hit it right on the head. I don't get it. It's like they live just to insult, or just I think a lot of it too is to try to raise their status. So that if you engage with them, now they're on your level. Yeah. And, so they feel more important, I guess. That's the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah, I know. It kind of gives you a sense of the state of the world, which is sad. I know I interviewed a young guy who's just starting out, and I was on Twitter one night late, and somebody was really giving him a hard time, and he was reacting to it, and I messaged him privately and said, ignore them. Just ignore them. They're looking for a reaction. Just forget about them. Block them, whatever. Carry on with your life. So it's just, I don't get it. I'll never get it.
Yeah, that's the safest thing to do. I mean, one of my favorite comedians who passed away was George Carlin. And, one of the things that he said was, if you don't like what you see or what you hear, there's two options. You can change the station or you can turn it off. Exactly. But I think the reason people don't do that is because some people have this, I don't know, this thing in them where they feel compelled to impose their will or their opinion on others. And that, I think, has led to a lot of the problems in the world as a whole. Yeah. Forcing your religious beliefs or your political beliefs or whatever on other people. I think is just very, very arrogant. It's very, it's very entitled. Like it's very, I can't even pinpoint the
word, yeah.
articulate the right, but it's just crazy that, it's like, well, I believe this, so I'm going to make everybody else believe it too. Everybody else should believe this because this is the way. And that's crazy to me. That is insane.
Yeah.
I just don't get that.
No, I don't either. And then some people
sorry. I feel like our interview is getting too negative. So let's lighten it up a little bit.
Let's switch it up. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about your licensing placements, your music licensing placements. Now, you were on Nobody Wins Alone, which was a football anthem used for the HBO stand-up comedy special Owen Smith. You were also Millionaire Matchmaker, Bridezilla, which I'm sorry, cracks me up, Catfish, and Black Sails, along with NBC, Showtime, MTV, VH1, and BET. That's quite a list to have behind your name. You must feel very proud of yourself for accomplishing that.
I'm happy that people like the music. I'm happy that the music that I did was able to be used for different things, for different shows. I feel very honored that honestly, anytime anybody that buys my music or streams my music or watches a video or shares my stuff or anything, I always feel honored and blessed and grateful because there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that do this, that do music, and just to be acknowledged or just to have anybody say, "Hey, I dig what you're doing" or whatever is really cool to me, and I always feel blessed and grateful because nobody could like anything that I do,
Yeah.
And so I pride. I wouldn't say pride. I'm not really proud. I'm just very honored that I was able to have those opportunities and the people liked my music enough to use it in their shows and their specials or whatever it is. I've done some ring walks for some boxers. And had some boxers ask me to do music for their entrances into the rings and stuff. And like I said, that always just makes me feel very honored and blessed. And it on a more personal note, it just confirms that all of the hard work that I did is paying off or has paid off. Mm-hmm. And as far as studying and practicing and all of the long hours that you spend by yourself, because anybody that knows that's done anything creative and worked really hard at something knows that you spend a lot of time alone.
Yes, you do.
So you can't get inside your own head and not, because when you're creating, you're not sure how it's translated. You're not sure if what you're doing, like what you heard in your head is being conveyed, through the music, like once you actually lay it down, so a lot of times, but sometimes you do. Sometimes I'll record something or I'll create a track or something, and I'll come back the next day and go, "What in the world was I thinking? Like, what mood was I in? Because this is terrible." Yeah. So it's more just a confirmation that you are somewhat on the right track.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you definitely are. Now, what advice would you give to a young artist or a new artist, no matter what the age, that's just starting out?
Well, age isn't really the thing. Just if you're just starting out, I would two things that I'm a firm believer in. One is learn your craft. Whatever it is that you're pursuing, learn it. Like really learn it. Get into it. Know it. Backwards and forwards. Like really dedicate yourself. Commit yourself to it. 100%. And the other thing is never give up. Ever, never. No matter what anybody says to you or what's going on in your life, never, ever, ever give up. Those are the two things that I would tell somebody just starting out.
Well, that's great advice. The don't give up part is very, very, very good advice because it is a hard industry. Now, you're ready to create all kinds of you're producing your own singles. You have 2 albums out. What are they called?
Orgasms, Tears, Sweat is the first one. It's my first solo album, and the second album was a producer album called. iTunes made me change the title, but the title is produced by Kna Lo Venge Volume 1, and I had to drop the produced by. Apparently, you can't use that on iTunes. You can't use produced or anything like that in the title.
Oh.
So yeah, so it's called on iTunes. I think it's Kna Lo Venge Volume 1, which sounds crazy to me, but I'm like, okay. And that's an album that I produced. Now that's hip hop. That album is hip hop. I'd say 99% is hip hop, and I did that in New York with all New York artists from all over New York, from Long Island to the 5 boroughs. And I got the very best, some known, some unknown. Royal Flush is pretty well known, and a few other artists. But mainly it was just unknown artists that I knew that were really good that I thought deserved a shot.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, so I got them all together. I produced the tracks and let them write the songs, and I think it was a lot of fun, and I think it was a pretty good project. But yeah, so I'm working on my second solo album, my official second solo album.
Okay, and the first set, I guess, or single is going to drop March 7th?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called Kill Yourself, and it drops March 7th, and it's the first single with my new distribution deal, and I'm really excited. I've been planning the video out with a director and his whole team. We're going to start shooting the video pretty soon. We already had the treatment, and we've been setting up locations and scouting locations and setting up the different shoots, the storyboards and stuff like that. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm looking forward to this single really showing people, I guess, a little bit more what I'm capable of, because it's nothing like I've done before. It's kind of a departure from a lot of my earlier music. So I'm hoping everybody likes it, but I'm enjoying it. I like it, and I'm having a blast right now doing everything with it.
Well, I love it, and I get to give everybody a treat because I get to drop it today. Yes. Now, what are your dreams from here, Kna Lo? Like, where do you want to go? Is there somebody that you would love to open for? Do you have a recording deal right now?
No, I just have a distribution deal.
Okay.
I've been in a couple of recording contracts, and as shown from the Grammys the other night, you don't need a record label to win a Grammy.
Chance the Rapper.
Yep, chance just showed everyone, and I think that's the way a lot of artists are going. I mean, unless a record label is going to come in and really do all of the things that need to be done without taking advantage of you, then it's if you have the means or the support to do it yourself, stay independent as long as possible, and do as much of it on your own as you can, because a lot of these record labels, I mean, people listen to the radio. People have been seeing artists for a long time, and it's pretty evident from the amount of artists that have come out in the music that you don't like that they aren't necessarily the barometer for what's good, or what people like, or what people or what talent is, or what good artists are. Most of the artists like Eminem, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, I'm just talking hip hop right now, or even Prince. Prince was turned down, I think, by like 13 different labels when he first tried to come out, which, it just goes to show, and, Eminem, 50 Cent, and Jay-Z and stuff, like I said, these labels don't necessarily know what they're doing, and they don't necessarily know when something's hot, or when because if you don't sound like something that they're familiar with, they just dismiss it, not understanding you may be the next new thing. Your sound might be the next new sound. They're always looking to piggyback on whatever is already successful, or whatever everybody's already doing, which stagnates innovation. It stagnates the art. It stagnates artists, because then what happens is you have artists that just try to emulate stuff that they hear on the radio, or copy other artists, and it just kills music as a whole to me.
Yeah, it just becomes very generic.
Really kills it.
Yeah, it all sounds the same. There's no variation.
Yeah, and that's why I just explained why.
Yeah,
that's exactly why all the music sounds the same, because that's the only way that these artists, that these labels are supporting you, is if you sound like something that is already selling, or something that sounds familiar to them, that they know, has been successful, and that burns people out. That really, and people turn a deaf ear to it. So then people don't want to hear, anything new, because they just assume that you're going to sound like everybody else that they already listen to. So it's harder for people to give you a chance.
Yeah.
When you're a new artist.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you can do it and make as much noise as you can on your own, I would suggest doing that. I mean, the labels do serve a purpose, and they can help with a lot of things if they're allowing you to be free. If they're allowing you to the freedom of your expression, then that's fine. But a lot of times they'll assign marketing people, A&Rs, and a whole team of executive producers and all kind of stuff to oversee your project, and you end up with something that isn't you.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a processed sausage.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no freedom. There's not a lot of freedom. And I mean, you're expected to do this many shows in this long of a time, and you're expected to write this many songs. I know a lot of the new artists that I'm talking to are producing themselves. And I think that is awesome, because then we're getting new sounds, and that's what we need. So you explained it perfectly. So then your dreams are just to keep going and keep getting recognized. And
I have people that I'd love to work with, and those are dreams. And I'll tell you, I do have one dream that I've never really I've never really expressed to anyone, and I'll do it on Allie's Attic.
Aw.
For the first time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for this opportunity. I have a dream to sell out the Garden, Madison Square Garden.
Nice.
One night, just as a headliner. That is my secret dream that I just told you.
Well, you know what? I don't think it's a dream. I honestly think it's going to happen. And when you're on stage and you're singing, I want to shout out.
Well, I definitely will. When it happens, I definitely will say. And I want to thank Allie's Attic, Allie, for all of the support.
Okay, now we are going to hear 2 songs from you. And like I've already teased everybody, I get to play Kill Yourself before it comes out on the 7th, which I'm so pumped about. And we're also going to hear Roller Coaster featuring Brent Carter. And if people don't know who Brent Carter is, he's from the band, he's the lead singer actually of the Average White Band. And this song is amazing.
Thank you. He's an amazing singer and he's a great friend.
Well, and it's great when you get to produce with friends. That's the best part. Now, where can people purchase your music, Kna Lo?
Everywhere that you purchase downloads, iTunes, Amazon, any digital outlet. My music's everywhere. I used to make jokes and say, if you can't find my music, you're not looking. I mean, all of the major outlets, Google,
iTunes.
I can't even think of them all now.
iTunes, Spotify,
every digital outlet.
Okay, and you have a website as well, right?
I'm sorry?
You have a website as well?
Yes, KnaLoVenge.com.
And it's going to be up on my website, so people will be able to find you. I can guarantee you my hits after I put these songs up are going to go sky high because your music is unbelievable. I absolutely fell in love with it. I'm glad that your fan directed me to you and I got to have you on my show. You sound like a genuine, nice guy, and that means a lot to a lot of people. So
thank you.
You're welcome. And like I said, I know I'm going to get that shout out when you sell at the garden. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sharing so much with us. That is just amazing. And if anything big happens in your future and you want to come back on, you just let me know.
Thank you. I will, definitely. Thank you so much for the time and the opportunity, and I wish you all the success with your show, and I hope to see you doing big things really soon too.
I hope so too. Well, thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic. Keep checking my website because you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. Cheers.